Hi there, welcome to the Animal Intuitive Show. I'm Angelo, Webb, the Animal Intuitive, and tonight we're going to be doing some live animal communication and also following up on the case of Kathleen Janess and Bowie. So I hope that you'll stick with us and join us this evening. If you have any animals that you'd like me to speak with, I am happy to do that here tonight. To thank everybody who's been coming back and those people who have subscribed already. I really thank you because we've now started to go way past 1,000. It took a while for me to get there, but once I got there, it's starting to pick up, and I really just appreciate you. I'm like holding a hair pack. I don't know why. So I thank you very much for doing that. And if you are new to the channel, I really appreciate you being here for the first time tonight. And if you subscribe, that way you'll be, do that because you'll be notified of upcoming episodes, and hit the bell. That will notify you actually of upcoming episodes. So Kathleen Janess and Bowie, why don't I just start there? There's been an update about that case. I spoke about that with a guest. She was on part of the show, Alex Erickson. She does her own true crime show. It was I want to say about 6 weeks ago. Okay. So that's Katie or Kathleen Janness. And her dog Bowie. Oh, actually, you know what? I think that's Bowie. There's a little confusion because there's a few pictures out there, and I found out afterwards that one of them wasn't Bowie or a couple of them weren't Bowie, and now this is the article that just was released with the update. So I apologize if this isn't Bowie, but Bowie had some siblings, I think, had one or two other dogs in the home. So one of them was similar looking, I think. So in any case, she was walking through the park late at night, taking him out for this nightly walk, and was brutally attacked and murdered, and Bowie was also murdered. And the autopsy just came out. The results of the autopsy just came back. And I wanted to follow up. This isn't a true crime show. It's a show about animal communication and holistic animal help and healing and wellness, and I do massage and acupressure and things like that, but I have a personal interest in true crime. I'm a criminal justice master's and licensed clinical social worker. Forensics is my background, so that's always been an interest of mine. I worked in that field. I have masters in those, and it's an interest of mine, but at the same time, I wanted to honor the two of them, and I want to do more about animals that are harmed. So that we have a new cat. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but she's a monster. We love her so much, but she's about to crawl up the wall right behind me. We adore her. Maybe she'll jump up here. But anyway, so my husband and I may be doing a show that focuses more on pets. We will be doing a show that focuses on true crime and pets. But I did do this episode, and I wanted to follow up on it because the autopsy came out. So a lot of people have commented on the last show in my comment section about their opinions about what happened. When I looked at the autopsy report, I'm going to bring up the article to you. I'm not going to go into a whole thing like a normal true crime show would do, where I'm going to go read through it and all that. That's not what I'm here to do. I just wanted to do an update. Oops, I just lost it. Because I wanted to address some of the comments that have been made in my comment section. I didn't put this back in. There are people that were sort of speculating, or they were speculating, about what it could have happened, and if perhaps this was a crime that happened between sort of a domestic violence, you would almost say, that her wife is who found her actually, and who made the 911 call. And there are some people who, I didn't even consider that was something that could have happened. And I still frankly don't believe, that's my opinion, that her wife had anything to do with it. Part of that is just my instinct. I will tell you honestly, I'm not obviously somebody in that field. I'm not a, police officer. I'm not, but intuitively, I don't feel she had something to do with it. I could be proven wrong, but I don't. But even more so, in reading the autopsy, it does appear that she was brutally, like a lot of details came out with how many stab wounds, how much she was harmed. And I'm sorry if this is just a trigger warning, this is kind of gruesome. I'm not going to go into great detail, but if this kind of thing is not what you're here for, I apologize. Fast forward, I will have this time stamped as well to get into more like the animal communication stuff. I'll have chapters, so to just move on if you don't want to hear anything else about this. But she was stabbed 50 times. Many of them were in her head. She had letters cut into her, F, A, and T, into her torso. But then what really got me was how deep the stab wounds were. I know that like crimes of in relationships sometimes are very like they will say that they're sometimes more personal, like there's something personal about them, that they're more, almost sometimes more brutal in a way. But the way this came across to me was like I just couldn't see the strength is part of it. Like looking at her partner, I did watch a couple videos with her. What would have been involved in this would surprise me. And also the brazenness of somebody doing something like this in a public place. This was done in a park. Granted, it was very late at night, and in the dark, obviously, but it is a public park where people could be walking in and out. You would have to be very bold and brazen to do something like this. And they obviously spent a little bit of time doing this. So on top of that, this would be her family pet. So say that she and Katie had an issue. Would you really imagine that she would go after her own dog too and kill her own dog? That's just me personally. And, you know, other people can have their own opinions about that too. I understand that. I'm not, saying that other people can't, but I did want to address it because people keep mentioning it, and I felt like it was something I owed to the people who watched that show because people have been commenting on it and that this information came out. And I just wanted to kind of give a little bit of a follow-up and talk a little bit about it. And if people have anything they want to mention in the chat, I'm willing to take a look at that. I don't see any comments in the chat, but I can certainly respond if people do follow up, as long as people are respectful to the family and to her and to the story. That's something that's just important to me. People be respectful about it and decent about the way that they comment. So I hope that something that they did mention was that they're hoping that DNA that came from Bowie's mouth, obviously he would have, I guess, well, not obviously, but more than likely, and I think that they, from what I've read, came to the conclusion that he did bite. They would know from that perhaps, or they would have some DNA. So that's good. So something that I thought about was, well, if that's the case, then if there's other DNA, obviously it's not the wife. I mean, they're going to have her DNA. They probably took her DNA, or if it's male DNA, they're going to know it's somebody else. So she pinged, I just want to mention this too, she pinged the phone to find out where Katie was. That was part of this. That's how she found her, because she didn't come home. And obviously she had a phone on her. The police probably looked at her phone data, so they could have tracked her motions. If her phone was turned off for any length of time, that would have been very suspicious. And I would think by now, this was back in July, that would have been looked at very closely. So this obviously also was very bloody. So I would think that, excuse me for saying that, but I would think that she would have had a very difficult time doing this, running home, cleaning up, calling the police, pretending that she's shocked. The police probably went back to their home and checked that out. They would have found some evidence. So these are just my thoughts on it, but what do I know? I worked in the psychology aspect of these things. I did work with more like some violence, but well, not that this isn't violence, but SA offenders, I guess I'm supposed to say. You can't say those words together on YouTube. I don't know, but I'm not obviously in the law enforcement end of it. I was in the social work forensics psychology sort of side of things, but that's just, you come into contact with different types of people, and I worked in victimology, and that's just, something that lends itself to my way of thinking about this stuff. So that's something I do want to talk more about when my husband and I do our show. He's a contractor, and he's very busy, and we're supposed to be doing an episode soon. It will be called, we think, we're going to name it True Crime Pets and Projects. True Crime Pets and Projects. So the whole purpose of it is to, how there's some people who do their makeup and they do talk about true crime, or they'll do something else and they'll talk about true crime. We're going to be talking about true crime, more so me, and he'll be showing you a project. He's very good with hands-on things, so he's going to be maybe doing some things that relate to animals, or doing things around the house. So actually, we would love to hear from you if there's anything that you'd like him to do, that we were talking about maybe doing a cat tower or something like that. And welcome to, hi Matt, how are you? Thank you for coming. Good to see you here. Yeah, so if people have any projects that they'd like to see him talk about, I was saying, not to stereotype, but as a woman, there's things that I don't know how to do and I'd like to be able to know how to do. Part of the kind of, not trying to be funny, but at the same time, it's always the handyman, they say, in the true crime world. It's always the handyman that's done it. That's kind of the joke, but the tagline. And so wouldn't it be nice if we could fix things ourselves and not need the handyman? So, show us how to fix the toilet, or show us how to fix under the sink, things like that. So we don't have to call the handyman. So if there's little things that you'd like him to show you how to do, let me know. Let us know in the comments, and we'll start to incorporate those. I just have to pin him down. He's just very busy. He's still at work right now. It's almost 8:00 at night. So he can be a hard guy to pin down, but we're going to do an episode soon and get that out to you. I'm not sure we're going to do it live. We might not be able to do it live, at least initially. So we're looking forward to that. But so I don't see a lot of people, I don't see anybody asking for live animal communication in the comments. So my thinking was that I would, kind of talking in the realm of the what we're talking about with this case, I was wondering if people, it was on my mind, do people wonder if their pet would protect them, or what do pets think about being given that responsibility? And I wanted to ask my dog, because last night I was reading this autopsy really late at night, actually, because I was working on something else. I was getting out an ad, and I tend to get wrapped up in stuff. So it was late, and then I realized I wanted to take something out to the dumpster, the garbage. And there's a wooded area near us, and it's kind of over there by that wooded area. And I thought to myself, because I had just read this, of course, it was on my mind, it's 1 a.m, 2 a.m, should I go there by myself? And I thought, well, I'll just take my German Shepherd. I'll just take Kane with me. And then, of course, I had literally just been reading this, and I thought, would he protect me? Because, and this came up when Alex and I were talking about it, and I think the thing that I said was that, kind of jokingly, because I said, I also think that if this person's wife attacked her, the wife wouldn't have to kill the dog necessarily because it's her dog. So I said, I don't think my dogs would necessarily stop my husband if he tried to kill me, because I don't know, they just sort of trust him. And I don't know. My husband's like, no, I think they would. I think if I, maybe not one of them. She's more, the German Shepherd might go after him. If he really was like harming me, he might. But the other one would probably run away. But, well, look who's here. It's Gia. Hi. Do you want to start? Interesting. We had a talk today about what her purpose is. And she did say that she wants to start helping me with the show. And look who's here. We finally gave her a total proper name. We've been working on it. Her name is Giovanna Storm. I'm sorry I'm all over the place, but she just, she showed up, and I feel like, I don't want to just ignore her, especially because I was talking to her about this today. I do have a show about that, a couple too, I think, episodes about their purpose with you. She is extremely large. I know she just jerked a little bit. She's still a kitten. This is a kitten. She's a year and a half. I'm going to let her go in a second, but I do want to show you. She's huge. She's enormous. Look at this cat. Eee. She's a Norwegian forest cat, we think. She's from a shelter. The person I got her from said that she was told they found her in a cemetery with her litter in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And I feel like what happened was she didn't necessarily get. So part of this is that she's eating a lot. We're going to have to pull back on the food, but so part of it's that she's eating a lot. But we think she's Norwegian forest cat, and that's part of why she's so big, because they're like a really big breed. Anyway. So she can be really like that, like she wants to hang out with you, and then she's like kitten brain, like she wants to go do something else. But so I have no idea what I was talking about. Protection dogs. So thank you. She is cute, right? She's adorable. I'm still over here, aren't I? I need to get out of this. Let me just say before I get rid of this article here that I am really sorry to this family. Prayers to them. I hope they find this person really soon. This is horrendous. I think they've got some good information. I would hope so in the park, but I do have a video on my Facebook page and on the YouTube that shows people leaving the park. And I know they were looking for those people. So that's why I did the original episode, actually, was to get people looking at those people who are not all suspects, or not suspects, they say necessarily, they say that, but I know one did come forward. They're just trying to find out if anybody has seen anything. So, we're going to talk about dogs and if they would protect you. Or cats. I don't know. That cat might do some harm to someone. She's so big. So when I asked Kane what he would do, and I thought about not even talking about this, because I was like, what if he says he wouldn't help me, and then someone's watching this, and I've got this, I'm watching true crime too much, so I shouldn't tell anyone. I don't know. But he was like, I would, but his first thing was like, would Daddy be there? Like, his first response was, would Daddy first? Like, he deferred to my husband. So, that's, I guess, okay. Like, that's just a dog thing. Like, they're kind of looking for him, that's who he thinks is supposed to first be in command, I guess, in that aspect of things. So I got that he would then lose it. Like, if somebody went after me and really was being aggressive towards me, he would really lose it. it just seemed like he would go into an instinctual sort of a place. Like he would go ape, basically. So perfectly willing, if anybody asks in the chat if they have any pets, they want to know if anybody comes in what they would do. But I think it's an interesting question because there's a video that came out where they showed that I think I'm yellow right now, that dogs don't necessarily protect us when we think they will. They did like a video with, I want to say it was German Shepherds, and they didn't really do much. Where they had people like pretend to break into their house, and they didn't do what the people thought that they were going to do. So I guess we can't assume anything when it comes to that. So oops, I'm trying to fix my color here because I'm sort of yellow. But speaking of yellow and this kind of color, my shirt, I was just thinking about the fact that, not that I'm pointing fingers at anybody, but I just wanted to mention that back in, well, a very long time ago, this band, Guns N' Roses, they were on tour. It was a really long time ago. I was but a baby. I was probably, 2 years old. And I loved this band. And they came to Saratoga Springs, New York. And my kindly brother, my older brother and his friends, could see that at the age of 2, I loved this band. And they put me in the trunk of the car. This is starting to sound like a true crime. And they snuck me in because I didn't have a ticket. So this was like 1988 or Appetite for Destruction, 88, I think. Anyway, this is what happened. They were doing this concert, and the people started to storm the stage. And I am getting to a point here. What did Axl Rose do? What did the lead singer of this band do? He stopped the show. That's what he did. He said, we're going to stop the show. I mean, he freaked out. He wasn't like saying it. He was yelling, of course, but he wasn't like the calmest person. But he told everyone that if they didn't stop, they were ending the show. He's going to walk off the stage. That's a new one. And he told everyone to back up. And they did. The people backed up. They stopped the show. They backed up. And guess what? Nobody got hurt. Look at these pictures. Wow. Long time ago. But the point is that I just, thought I'd mention that can be done, if you want. You can just stop a show. So, yeah. If you would like to, right? You can just, right, Matt? You can just stop a show. It can be done. You can say, to heck with the money. We're just going to end it. Oh well. Money isn't that important. It was a great show when I was 2. A good start to my interest in rock music back then. So, In all seriousness, a lot of prayers have been going out. I'm praying for the people who have been harmed. And I did try to reach out to the law firm too. We're doing a lot of stuff that's off topic, and I'm sorry. I've been a little sick this week, and I didn't have a lot of time to prepare a lot of different stuff. So, in detailed stuff, and I don't see anyone here in the chat, or I'd be doing animal communication more. But I reached out to the legal firm that is handling the people who are victims of this concert, this Travis Scott concert, this Astroworld thing, because I did see 2 YouTubers saying that if the people who were victims take part in if they receive any of the funds, like the therapy or the funeral expenses being covered, that they can't participate in the lawsuits. I don't know if that's true. I looked into that. I couldn't find that to be true. The people were saying they thought that was true. I contacted the law firm and I haven't heard anything back, but it's something for people that are out there to be mindful of if they're accepting help from him. And we don't know what he knew, but it's just interesting, the whole thing. And it's hard to imagine that. It's hard to imagine. So that's all I'll say. So that's kind of like all I have for tonight. I'd love to know what people think about the new show that my husband and I are doing. If you have any suggestions for projects you'd like us to do for our first few episodes, we'd love to hear it. And I thank you for being here. Remember that I will be here to talk to your pets. And if you come back next week, I won't be here on Thanksgiving, I don't think. It's Thanksgiving. So I'm assuming it's my cat. It's probably pointless for me to show up because it's probably not going to be a lot of people here. I don't know. But on Monday, prior to that, so this coming Monday in a couple days, I have a very special guest. Temple Grandin's coming. Temple Grandin is this like internationally known behavioral scientist who has written books. She's 50% of the plants in this country, at least. I'm not sure about the world. This country, I know that have cows, and they use her systems for the way that they handle their livestock, and she basically made it humane on some level. I mean, of course, that's a whole nother topic, the whole idea of like even having that at all, but it's, if we're going to have these things, if there's going to be these plants where they have cows and that, that are being used for whatever, she is somebody at least who has tried to make it a little bit more humane. And she's been very a pioneer. She really has done an amazing job with that. Now, on top of that, she's autistic. And the way that she's done that is to make those changes is because she says because of her autistic brain, she's been able to sort of see things the way that animals would see them. She sees things in such detail, with such clarity, the way that animals see them, that she has been able to tell people, well, don't do this or do that. This is affecting the animals. And there's things that people would never have even thought of. So once they implement what she has said, things change a lot for the animals that they've had. She's invented things like, I think probably those, heavy blankets that people use, those calming blankets, probably were trickle down things from this squeeze machine that she developed. So she'll talk about all this stuff. But she's pretty incredible. She's written a ton of books, like 25 books. She's a professor right now at Colorado State University. And I really hope that people share that link. I have that up right now for the show coming up on Monday, because I really think it's an important show. She's going to do Q&A, which is like a rare opportunity that you get to ask her questions So if there's parents or of children with autism, or there's people with autism that would like to ask questions, you get to ask her directly in the chat. So come to the show and share that with people who might benefit from it. And her work is also it's something that I had to read when I started taking classes in animal communication, which I did just to kind of hone my skill. So she's incredible. She's just done so much. So I really hope that you'll share that link. I'll put that in the description below, but I have that. If you're a subscriber to the show, you should be getting those notifications. So thank you so much for those who are here, and thank you for the likes, and have a wonderful weekend, and God bless.